morning. It's July the 21st, and we're seeing now down here why your gardening's just about over with when you hit the end of July and August. These are the containers that we had our tomato plants in. This was our first row of tomatoes, and here was our second two tomato plants. So this morning, I come in here and I took off all these green tomatoes, and we're going to be done with these tomato plants. We got one sucker plant back there past this giant Marconi right here. It's still going. I don't see any disease in it yet, but these things had ran their course. These were halcinators and black brandywine, and even with the shade cloth over this, it's just really hot, really rainy. I kept them sprayed. I used 2 different fungicides, Funganil and some liquid copper, and we still got the disease because every day down here we're getting rain. Actually, in the past month and a half, July 4th we didn't have any rain, and today we're not going to have any rain, supposedly. But for the past over a month, it's rained every evening, and I mean rained heavy and hard. So it's just the disease got in these halcinators and these black brandywines, even with me spraying them. So I took them down. We're going to give these to my friend at work, my wife's friend at work. She loves fried green tomatoes, so she's getting all of these. And we're getting these containers. These are 25-gallon containers. We're getting these ready. You can see where I cut the tomato plants off. I actually bagged up all the tomatoes, and if you can look out there at the trash can, that big old trash bag on top of the trash can is full of all the tomato remnants. We don't compost any of that. We don't want the blight and the other diseases that were in our tomatoes to go back in our compost pile. So here's the containers, and what I've done, actually we're getting these containers ready today. I'm dumping the containers and reamending the soil for our second planting of these cucumbers. Now, the first cucumbers we grew on the videos on the channel were given to us. These cucumber plants I started myself. I'll show you. These are halcinator cucumber plants, and we're going to go ahead and try to get a second round of cucumbers going. I'm probably going to even put another piece of shade cloth over here to go more than 40%, because these things seem to do well under this shade. I stick them out there in the morning, and until I start seeing them wilty down, even with the water being heavily watered, then I bring them in here. So they're going to go in these containers around up against this cattle panel, and where we had our row of tomatoes. Hopefully, Lord willing, we're going to get these cucumbers in there and they'll make it. So what we do to get our cucumber buckets ready, like I say, these are 25-gallon pots we get at our local nursery here in southern Mississippi. I paid $12 a piece for them, which wasn't too bad in my opinion. And this is the soil that was in it. And when we planted our tomato plants, this was mostly just potting mix. We had a little bit of organic material in there, but not much. But we're gonna double down on the organic matter. I've got some different potting mix that's more pine bark mulch nuggets in this cheaper kind of potting mix. I'll show you. It's got more pine bark. You can see that. Well, see this? We started off with Miracle Grow, and it worked good. But what we need to do is get more organic matter down in all this potting mix that's basically peat moss, because it dries out so hard or quick. The whole bottom of these containers were just almost like a rock, and that was with just what Miracle Grow that's got perlite in it. So we're going to add some of this 50-50. We're going to take the old potting mix, the Miracle Grow old potting mix that's spent now. We know there's not a lot of nutrients left in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it with this brand new bags of this potting mix we got at Walmart. It's a cheaper brand, but it still works great. We just add perlite to it. I got a bag in there. I haven't brought it out yet. I'm going to mix some perlite in here, and we're going to add some of this mushroom compost. And this is our leaf. This is our leaf compost. It's breaking down real nice. It's heavily organic matter. It's just basically leaves we ran over in the early spring with our mower that the previous gentleman left all on the ground back there in the back. So I blew them up in a pile and ran over them with a lawnmower, and then I added our grass clippings. When we mowed our grass, we just mixed them, layered them in there, and kept turning it. Sorry, got a little yellow jacket in there trying to get in there. And we're going to add our fast breaking down compost. We got some videos on the channel how we did all that with some mushroom compost and some more potting mix. I'm not going to add any fertilizers to this. Those plants are still relatively small, and there's fertilizer in this stuff. It says it feeds up to 6 months, so don't really need any fertilizer in there. And what I was doing is top dressing these plants, and it worked fine once I started seeing some deficiencies in the tomato plant. So we just put a tablespoon once a week. I think it was started off once every 2 weeks, but when the plants got so huge, we was doing it once a week of, it's just a organic tomato and vegetable low nitrogen fertilizer. 1 tablespoon around the top of these plants, and it seemed to work well. So we're going to mix all of this together and layer it like a lasagna. A couple of handfuls of the new potting mix on top of the old potting mix. A handful of the mushroom compost. A handful of the leaf compost, and just mix it all together until we can get that container full. And this is pine needles and leaves that we used as a mulch on the top of our pots. And we're going to go ahead and do that again, put that on the very top. That helps with the tops drying out so quick. And then on top of that, I'm just going to go buy some more pine bark nuggets because they seem to work well. You can see our fig tree, it's fig plant here, it's doing great, man. It's taking off and doing great. But I put some pine bark nuggets on that. And this tomato plant, the last one we have left here, this was a sucker plant off of our plants. And we just topped that off too with some pine bark nuggets. So we're gonna do that when we're done. But this is, you know, I make these videos. It's kind of like my little gardening journal or diary. So I know what I can do next year if it works. I know that I can do exactly what I did again the following year. And if I have some issues, then I'll go back and watch the videos and I'll tweak it here and there, add something or take something out. But this is this helps me to remember exactly what I'm doing here. We're going to get those Halcinator cucumber plants planted in this new potting mix that we're amending with 2 different kinds of compost and some new potting mix. So we'll keep you updated on how it goes. Once we get to where we're going to plant these, I'll make a planting video. But I got my hands full trying to get in here and get this done early because we're going to hit 98 today, and they've been calling it high 90s for the past almost month here for us, mid 90s. But now we're getting into the high 90s, but our temperature gauge thermometer on the front porch up there, it's been reading right at 100. So we're definitely going to be around 100 today. So we're trying to get this done early. But I've made videos in the past of me re-amending my my soils with compost, my spent garden soil, container soils with compost, and that's basically all we're going to do right now. Mix it all together like a lasagna, stir it in real good, and then I'll probably move it back over here in its spot, and then water it in real heavy. And then maybe in another week, we can get our Halcinator cucumber plants planted. And with any luck and the Lord's grace, He'll bless us with another round of cucumbers this year. We'll keep you updated, and thanks for watching.